So total 17 taxes we have subsumed in GST, and majority of the taxes of whom? States. Fine. States already have less sources of tax revenue, and majority of the states' tax revenue before GST is coming from indirect tax, and all of their indirect taxes are subsumed in GST. So state demand compensation. Fine. And that is why the compensation cess was added. Now, before proceeding further, let's make a list of those taxes which are subsumed in GST. First, write about central taxes. Central taxes. First is central excise duty. Central excise duty. Central excise duty. Remember that excise duty is a tax which is put on production. So for production activity, when the tax is being imposed by the government, it is called as a excise duty. And this production based tax also have one more name, that is called value added tax. So when we go for a production activity, we go for value addition. So raw material to the finished goods. So for example, if we consider this water bottle, so certain derivative of petroleum product is being used to create the plastic. Fine. So plastic to water bottle, then labeling, use of ink. So ink, plastic and water is considered as a part of this production process, and then it creates what? The value of this water bottle. So in this process, value is being added. So value will be added. So we are going to charge you for the value addition. However, charge is on whom? Incidence of whom? Producer. But who is going to pay? The consumer. So it's an indirect tax, because incidence is on whom? One person, whereas the burden is on other person. So when incidence is on one person and burden is on other person, it is called as a indirect tax. Fine. So central excise duty was also known as, you can write in the bracket, CENVAT. CEN, C-E-N-V-A-T, CENVAT. C-E-N-V-A-T means central value added tax, CENVAT. Fine. So before moving ahead, students sometimes ask, sir, if it is already subsumed in GST, what is the purpose to write them? The purpose is to write them is because all things do not come under the GST. Still, there are certain goods on which GST is not applicable, and before the GST system is still applicable. So these taxes are abolished? Answer is no. These taxes are still here, and those goods who are out of the preview of GST, on those goods, still these taxes are applicable. So you cannot blame the UPSC why you have asked if those taxes are subsumed. So UPSC can ask because logically they exist and they being applied on those things on which GST is not applicable, right? Next is service tax. Next is service tax. If you see the service tax, like in India, service tax was introduced during the time when Dr. Manmohan Singh was a finance minister. And the first service tax was introduced on the thing that is called air services or visiting in the first class of the railways. Over the year, what government of India have did, anything what government considered is a service, not an essential thing, government started imposing service tax one by one. For example, first they have imposed the service tax on air travel, then first AC, then second AC. Gradually, they are increasing on one by one, they are increasing the service tax on items. In year 2000, government have introduced a system of negative list in the service tax. So, service tax is not important. What is negative list is important. So, what government have did by that time, every year government is saying that this also comes under the service tax. Now this also come under the service tax. Now this also come under the service tax. But by that time, government says that this do not comes under the service tax. Means rest of the thing automatically under service tax. So when government introduce negative list in any tax, means except those things, everything else is automatically under the tax if it exists or if it will come in the existence. So suppose that some service is not here, but tomorrow it will come. For example, space travel, space tourism. So space tourism is not in India as of right now. But tomorrow, if space tourism will come, automatically it will come under what? Automatically it will come under the system of service tax, because government have mentioned a negative list on certain things and they are automatically out of the preview of what? They are automatically out of the preview of service tax. That means the rest of the thing already are in service tax. Understood? Right. Right. Next. Excise duty under medicinal and toilet preparation. Medicinal and toilet preparation Act. Toilet Preparation Act. So those things like medical purpose, disinfectant purpose, so those things which comes under that, they will not come under the system of GST. Fine? Or they will come under the system of GST. Huh? Toilet preparation and all these things will come under GST or not? Now they are under the GST. So do you remember sanitizer? Become very famous during what? COVID. उसके पहले तक कोई जानता नहीं था उसे. ठीक है? Girls are very well aware of this thing because for them it's very important. For boys, done. ठीक है? Proper hygiene. Otherwise, sometimes in pocket also. But during that phase, which phase? The phase of COVID. That have make people realize sanitizer is something which is essentially required. Fine? So, certain things which are being used for medicinal purpose and toilet preparation, they come under the GST system right now. Next. Additional custom duty. Additional custom duty. So see, custom duty means what? When you are going to cross the border, and the border not of the state, border of the country. Fine? So automatically when it is about sovereign, means you are crossing from one country to another country. So then it is called as a customs. Fine? So custom duty is of central tax, and that custom duty was also applicable. Now this custom duty is a part of GST regime. Fine. So additional custom duty. When you want to impose additional tax, fine. You want to impose additional tax. I said that two ways are there. Either you can add that percentage. Suppose I am charging at 10% rate, I will charge 2 more percent. So from 10% to 12%. Fine. But if I will say that additional means what? 100 rupees what good is there? Fine. So suppose if it is an additional, so how additional will work? Item value is 100 rupees and custom duty, suppose that it is at the rate of 10%. Fine? At the rate of 10%. So tax will be how much? 10. Now I have increased to what? 12. I have increased to 12. Now it is how much? 12. But now I have said that there is a additional custom duty, suppose, fine, is of 2%. Additional custom duty of how much? 2%. So now this additional custom duty is of 2%. There is a separate tax. There is a separate tax. Why there is a separate tax? Because that separate tax is going to be in a pocket of union government only. So you can consider is a type of surcharge. So surcharge is applicable in the name of what? Additional custom duty. Why? Because center do not want to share with the states. Consider yourself as a sibling of your brother and sister, and you do not want to share the piece of cake which you have got, and you have to supposed to share. Fine. So what you have did, you have shared only the cream part and rest of the base you have eaten on your own. Fine. So center sometimes do that thing. The main thing is going to have with themselves, and certain things they are going to share with the states. So anything additional, when additional is being applied, center is having very clarity in her mind, his mind. Now her mind, fine. What they want to have that resources with themselves only. They do not want to share with whom? States. So additional or surcharge name, all these things happen this way. Fine. Right. Next. Custom duty, have you understood? Huh. Next is special, additional duty on custom. Special, additional duty on customs. So after huge success of additional custom duty, government came with what? Special, additional. अब special क्या होता है? Something should be special in that. Fine. So something should be special, or someone have to be make it special. So see, special means in certain circumstances, in certain situation, this will also applicable. In certain situations, certain circumstances, they will be also applicable. Then it will be special, additional. So usually additional custom duty is applicable on all goods. Fine. But you want to purchase Harley Davidson in India. Government do not want you should ride on the Harley Davidson. Government want you should ride on only Rajdoot. Or you want to go on only Indian made bike. Harley Davidson is not required for you. Fine. But you are adamant. I will purchase Harley Davidson at any cost. Government said, okay, fine. Let's see to what extent you can go. So government said that whatever the Harley Davidson bike will come, 100% custom duty. So that Harley Davidson is supposed that costing in Indian currency. In Indian currency before reaching to India. Fine. It started from US, about to reach the Indian port. And while reaching the Indian port, government said that whatever the cost is, 100% custom duty. 100% custom duty. So you said, okay, what is the cost of the bike? Cost of the bike is 5 lakh rupees in Indian rupee. But additional custom duty, 100%, that means 10 lakh rupees. Government said, wait, 50% additional custom duty. Fine. So now 50% additional custom duty, car, that bike price reached to 10 lakhs. Now the base price is how much? 5 lakh. So 12 lakh 50,000. You said, yes, now bike is mine. Government said, wait. This bike is having more than 600cc engine. And any two-wheeler which is going to have more than 600cc engine, additional 100% special, additional custom duty. Now bike reached to what? 17.5 lakhs. Fine. Picture abhi baki hai. ठीक है? Now government said that, see, this is not just a bike. It's a luxury bike. Fine. You said, how bike can be luxury? Car can be luxury. Government said, no, it's a luxury bike. And there is a luxury tax. And you have to pay the luxury tax also. Fine. Then state knocked, bro, luxury tax is mine. So I will collect. Bring it there. Fine. So if you are going to be in the state, particular any state, they are going to bring this luxury tax. So luxury tax, suppose that 50%. So 50%, 17.5 lakh, 20 lakhs. Still you want to purchase? You said, yes, I want to purchase. Then RTO is waiting. हम भी तो हैं, ठीक है? So now RTO is going to say that it's a vehicle which is of a specific criteria, and for that additional requirements are there in the additional, special. So all these additional and special are going to be applied. See, if you want to increase the tax without increasing the tax limit for the general person, fine, then what will come? Additional and special. So these additional and special. And this is what US will see. How US will see this case? US will see that you do not want Harley Davidson to be sold at where? India. So US will going to call it as a tariff barrier. US will call as a tariff barrier which is preventing the bike of Harley Davidson to be sold in India. So Donald Trump said that no, decrease it. Government said no, decrease it, please decrease it. अच्छा ठीक है, let's decrease it. But government said, माँ कसम bike तुम तुम्हें नहीं बेचने देंगे. Government is in the mood कि I am not going to allow you to sell this bike. So government have made 600cc bikes or above engine must comply with E85 fuel. Or E85 fuel, if you are going to put in the Harley Davidson, it is going to be choked within a year because that bike need a high octane fuel. High octane, where the percentage of ethanol should be 0, and even not just 0, even the petrol which you are going to have, it should have more refined thing. More refined petrol is required. So majority of the super bikes, they need high octane fuel. Fine. In India, petrol pumps also sell this high octane fuel, but still they are low octane. It is not up to the international standards. So majority of the super bikes do not have too much long life in India. So never try to purchase the second-hand super bike. High maintenance, low usage, and within few years, it is going to be a big problem for you. So this is why those people who are enthusiasts, fine, they enjoy that bike, fine, but after a certain point of time, they will sell it. So if US is going to, it means US have pushed India, decrease the tariff. India have decreased the tariff. So India have removed the tariff barrier. But what India have did? India deliberately mentions certain terms and conditions so that USA's product should not be sold in India by putting other conditions, and they are called as non-tariff barriers. So remember that in the trade and commerce, there are the two main issues. One is tariff barriers and other is what? Non-tariff barriers. What do you think? Which one is more difficult? Tariff barriers or non-tariff barriers? Tariff barriers you can discuss and you can resolve that matter. But non-tariff barriers, they are coming as terms and conditions applied. And those terms and conditions are being written in 0.50 font, which you cannot read. So you accepted, terms and conditions are applied. So you check that point, terms and conditions you have accepted. But when you see those terms and conditions, they are very difficult. So non-tariff barriers are basically a biggest weapon used by countries to prevent other country to sell their goods in your country. For example, one more example in this regard, like quota system. Quota system means, suppose earlier tariff was 100%. Fine. For European cars. Recently we have signed a trade agreement with the Europe, fine, and free trade agreement. Under that, India have agreed to decrease the taxes on cars which are coming from the Europe. But it is not like that ki every car, only to certain quantity and only to certain car specific. All cars are not going to get the same tax benefit. So trade agreements are not unconditional. Trade agreements are always conditional. And one important aspect countries usually do is a quota. So we will allow only 1,000 in the quantity. Fine. So suppose, just give me like a scenario, okay? So suppose India have allowed, okay, we are going to remove non-tariff barriers. We are going to decrease the tariff barriers. Now you can sell Harley Davidson. Now everyone is having a Harley Davidson Dream, fine, because it's a good bike. But now you are considering 5,000, 5 lakh rupees, 6 lakh rupees or 10 lakh rupees I can purchase. But government can restrict the number of Harley Davidson can be sold in India under low tariff barrier. After crossing that limit, suppose government have fixed 10,000. So once the 10,000 Harley Davidson is being sold in India, so the next 10,000 want, fine, when it will come in India, again the same tariff will be applicable which was applicable before the trade agreement. So this is called quota system. So under quota system, we will allow to certain quantity. After that, quantity is not allowed. So basically, these things are used as a tariff barriers as a non-tariff barriers. Understood? Right further. Next is central sales tax. Central sales tax. Central sales tax. Sales tax means the tax on the selling of the goods, it is also subsumed under GST. Next is central surcharge and cess. Central surcharges and cess on goods and services. Goods and services. Surcharges on goods and services. So it is also subsumed under what? It is also subsumed under GST. Okay. So in this way, total 8 taxes of central government were central excise duty, service tax, additional excise duty, excise duty on, हाँ तो एक और ये भी लिख लो, additional excise duty, additional excise duty. Now total 8. अब यहाँ shall I explain this additional here also? Excise duty means what? Tax on production. Additional means we want more from you. Fine. Without sharing with whom? State. So it's a kind of surcharge. Understood? Additional excise duty is a kind of surcharge. Now write the taxes of the state which were included in the GST. Number 1 is state VAT. State VAT, value added tax. State VAT, value added tax. State value added tax. And actually VAT by the state was one of the backbone of state's taxation. Backbone means majority of the revenue for the state is coming through what? VAT, value added tax. But again, this state VAT is going to cascade with other taxes. Means other taxes are going to be there, then automatically tax on tax. So this is why VAT states do not want to give up. Even today VAT is applicable. So when you purchase the petrol, fine, diesel. So petrol, diesel, if you closely observe, if you are going outside of your state and you will see the petrol price, they are different. Many people, for example, in Delhi and UP, fine. So both states have their own VAT, fine. So sometimes Delhi is going to have a lower VAT and UP having the higher VAT. So if UP having the higher VAT, you have to pay more money for the same amount of the petrol in UP. And if there will be less tax in the UP and more tax at where? Delhi. Then you have to pay less in UP and more in Delhi. So if you want to know where the tax is high and you are standing somewhere like here, you are standing here, this part is Noida and this part is Delhi. 2 petrol pumps are here. One is in Noida and one is in Delhi. The petrol pump which is having more number of the vehicle, that means less tax is there. More number of especially commercial vehicle. Because commercial vehicle like trucks, fine. So they are going to have diesel like somewhere around 70 liter, 80 liter, 100 liter sometimes. So even the price margin is supposed at 1 rupee. So every liter you are going to save how much? 1 rupee. So have you observed that on highways, especially at the border highway, border like Maharashtra, Telangana border, fine, or MP and Chhattisgarh border. So trucks are usually going to stop at that particular border nearby petrol pump where the VAT is relatively less. So maybe people are not very aware, but this drivers community, they have the proper knowledge of which area tax is less, which area tax is high. Because in a single trip, if you are going to use somewhere around 1000 liter of diesel, which is very common if you are having the long distance kind of the travel, then you can save at least 1000 rupees. Minimum 1000 rupees is the 1 rupee difference is being there. So this is why usually they have this practice. And selling of petrol and diesel is going to fetch this VAT for both center as well as state. Fine. And they fetch the good amount of money from the sale of petrol and diesel as well as alcohol. That is why both sides are ready and agreed. Alcohol, especially alcohol, as well as petrol, diesel should be out of the purview of what? GST. Because if they will subsume in the GST, it is going to be a huge loss for whom? State as well as center. And second thing, the problem is petrol price, diesel price. If you are going to drastically reduce because of the low in the taxes, then increasing the price is going to be very difficult. So suppose if the government is going to decrease the price from 110 to 80 rupees, and if government will start increasing again, people will start shouting, crying, why you are increasing the petrol diesel price? So in India, till the 1990s, petrol diesel price are strictly regulated by the government. Oil marketing companies do not have any right to fix the price of petrol, diesel as well as gas. Even gas price is still fixed by whom? Government of India. The natural gas price is being fixed by whom? Government of India, the cylinder price. Fine. Government increase the price, decrease the price. But petrol, diesel, usually petrol, diesel was complete control of whom? Complete control of government. So government gradually started deregulating the price control mechanism. Till then 1990, government of India was having strict control on price discovery. Government administered price are there. You can sell the cement only on that price which is going to be set by whom? Government. And India at a point of time have also seen this. It is limitation how much packets of cement you can purchase. Like recently, have you seen that government have fixed the 100-liter diesel? Government have recently fixed the 100-liter diesel for non-transportation purpose. So if you are using the diesel for non-transportation purpose, then you can maximum cap is how much? 100 liter in a day. Fine. So these things look prohibitory today. But if you go back to 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, even beginning of the 1990s, majority of the goods which are public goods, which public uses in the general sense, they are being regulated by whom? Government. So that preventing the misuse, because sources are scarce in the nature. So regarding petrol, diesel, government was having a mechanism. Then government said that, okay, now we will fix the price on monthly basis. Means government is going to fix the petrol, diesel price on monthly basis. For month of June, this will be the price. For the month of July, this will be the price. I still remember that 14-inch black and white TV at house, where at the end of the newsreader, she is going to tell for next 1 month, price of the petrol in Delhi will be this, price of the petrol in Bombay will this, price of the petrol in Calcutta will be this, and price of the petrol in Madras. At that time, Madras, later on become Chennai, will be this. Fine. So I was having one curious question. Why petrol price is higher in Chennai than Delhi? So I was having this question, and I asked this question to many people in my house and nearby. Some people have refused. One people have given very interesting answer. I asked why petrol price is higher in Mumbai and less in Delhi. Obvious answer is because the VAT is higher in Mumbai and less at where? Delhi. That's why. But he said that, beta, see, all the petrol is coming from Gulf via plane, and plane land at Delhi airport. And after that, when it will transport it from there, where? To Mumbai, to Kolkata, and to Madras, the travel cost will be there or not? I said yes. Then I asked him, then tell me one thing, why it is higher in Mumbai and less in Chennai? He said, for reaching the Mumbai, route is little bit difficult. And for Chennai, it is boarded in the train. Acha, Kanpur is a central station. India have total 5 central stations. So we have seen that many trains are going to Chennai. And he said, see, the direct train to Chennai is. So this is why. I said, acha, okay. So this is how people do those things. But this is nonsense. Fine. Majority of the things are being, see, why I have told you this reason. I have a reason why I have told you this story. Actually, now these days, when you are interacting with the people, especially on the podcast like thing, which is very inspiring for many of you, right? they do the same thing actually. Their findings, their view, it is only selective in the nature. It is not generalized. It is not backed by any scientific studies. Fine. Have you seen that sometimes doctors do not want to tell you? By doctor want to tell you. That is job of a doctor. That is the job of a scientist. Scientists want to let you know. That is their job. Why scientists do not want to let you know? Scientists want to let you know. Researchers want to let you know. This is how they are going to get a Nobel Prize. Right? Their ultimate salvation is what? Their ultimate salvation is my knowledge is going to give me the recognition. Why he want? I do not want to tell you. They want to tell you. Fine? They want to explain you. So all those institutions like FDA, US FDA, highest standard authority, which tells whether it is safe for your consumption or not, or it is not safe for your consumption. Certain human beings are having certain complexities, so maybe it will be difficult. So they will generalize. So please do not go for any overgeneralization of understanding. Whether it is related to economics or related to any field, overgeneralization is very easy to understand. Very easy to understand. Even a kid can understand why that petrol price is high in Chennai and less in Delhi by this nonsense logic. So this is biggest problem right now. Majority of this generation is facing oversimplification. Studies are not backed by proper evidences. They are case specific, which we call cherry picking. Fine, cherry picking. All those things you are going to remove. All those things which are looking shiny, you are going to take it. So cherry picking is a problem. So do not go for any oversimplification of the thing. If it looks very easy to understand, but overall it is complex, might be it's a oversimplification. And especially this happened in the economics. I do not want to mention the name of the people, but I know that especially in the online lectures and all, which do not have a credibility overall, they do this thing, oversimplification, because you cannot question anyone on the online, especially on the YouTube, just like a platform. Economics is a typical subject. It takes proper time and patience to learn and understand. You cannot learn the economics with oversimplification. You have to pay attention. You have to learn step by step, only then. So avoid all those oversimplification understanding. But I hope you got the idea regarding the VAT system, which is still applicable, and it is still applicable in which area? Especially petrol, diesel. So government, as I said, that government have deregulated. First, they started setting on the monthly basis. Later on, government of India said that now petrol pumps are going to display the petrol diesel price of the day on their petrol pump. So if you go to any fuel station, you can see that they have mentioned in their billboard, this is the price of the day. Petrol, diesel, they will mention. And government have deregulated it, means now the petrol, diesel price is not in the control of whom? Government. But have you seen that? Recently, government have said that the petrol, diesel price is going to increase or decrease. So, increase. So, it creates a doubt. If government have deregulated the price of petrol, diesel, how still government is able to control the price of diesel and petrol? Government is able to control the price of diesel and petrol through the variation in the tax. So, government sometimes decrease the tax, government sometimes increase the tax. Government not fix the price. Earlier, government itself was fixing the price. The price will be 110 rupees or 90 rupees or 70 rupees. Base price. After that, state-specific tax will be added and that will be the price. Fine. Now, government is doing what? Government of India. Government of India is changing the price of petrol, diesel by increasing or decreasing the tax, number one. Number two, government is also having one very powerful act. That is called Essential Commodity Management Act. Fine, I'll make you write. No need to write here. That act need to be addressed in the agriculture because it is more meaningful there. In today's world, it is not meaningful in this chapter, just telling you. But in the agriculture chapter, we will see that this Essential Commodity Management Act is a main reason why people do not want to invest in the agriculture sector. See, petrol diesel is something which public can afford, because all the people are not having the need of petrol and diesel. Fine. There are many people in India, they do not have any vehicle. But the problem is the vegetable, fruits, wheat, rice, such things. These are essential staples in India. And these essential staples price is going to steep rise. Means the poor population of India is not going to able to afford the food. So in order to check the price of these staple goods like vegetable, fruits and staple food like wheat, rice and all things, government have the power to fix the price and fix the sales. Means if the price of onion is going to rise too much, tomatoes price is going to rise too much, and government is going to enforce ESMA, Essential Commodity Management Act, then what will happen? Suppose market price is reaching to 140. Okay, and government have introduced ESMA, and government said that now sell it at what price? 60 rupees or 40 rupees only. So it is going to deny the profitability for whom? The person who is selling. And if I am not going to have the profitability in such cases, why I will invest? So, for example, we are having very good relation with the UAE right now, and UAE in the past have committed to invest more than $10 billion in the agri sector. And almost 5 years happened, single rupee investment they have not made. Why? Reason is very simple. Reason is government have not able to amend the agriculture sector's Essential Commodity Management Act. So government was not able to remove those goods of agriculture sector from that. Till then it is not going to be removed. The chance of making higher profits is always going to be low for whom? Any investor who want to invest in which sector? Agriculture sector. So this is why we do not usually receive the high investment or even normal foreign investment in our agriculture sector. So earlier this Essential Commodity Management Act was used by government in the petrol diesel also. So over the period of time, government have reduced it. Government is using only in certain sectors, and it is one of the bone of connection between farmers, government and investors. Government have both issue. If farmers are going to angry, then there will be issue. If consumer are going to be angry, there is an issue. Investors will not come, everyone will blame whom? Government. See, farmers want highest price, and that is legitimate. Fine. They are making their efforts and they are taking a lot of risk. They want best price. But if government will ensure the best price for them, then most of the poor people are not able to afford it. If rice is being sold in the market at 40 rupees per kg or 30 rupees per kg, do you think that the poorest people of India will be able to afford? Then what government have to do? First, government have to ensure farmer should get a good price. So even the price is 10 rupees, government have to purchase it at 30 rupees. 20 rupees bear by the government. Then again government have to sell the same rice in the market at 15 rupees per kg so that a poor people of India can afford. Fine. So government have to balance both sides with the administered price. So countries like India, where we have a huge amount of population under the poverty, they need to be helped by both ways. First, you have to support whom? Farmers, and then you have to support the consumers also. But irony is everyone blames the government. Fine. Of course, government should be seen from the critical point of view. What good is good, what bad is bad, what right is right, what wrong is wrong. But unfair criticism of the government is also incorrect. Any unverified criticism of the government is also not right thing. So when you are writing an answer, example is very important, because if you will not mention the example, it will consider as just a rhetoric statement. Government is not doing anything for the farmers. Fine. So such statement is unverified. You have to mention in what way government is not able to do the work which is desired by the government for the farmers. So do not speak in the rhetoric manner in your answer. Answer should be always backed by precise data. If not, that point will be not considered. वो point consider ही नहीं करेगा. They are not going to consider that point, such points. Government have to do more for the farmers. What do you mean by do more with the farmers? So what is more here? If you are not mentioning what government is doing right now and government have to do this, that point will be no marks. So suppose you have mentioned 5 points, what government is not doing and what government have to do. So total 10 points you have mentioned and you have mentioned only 2 examples. So you are eligible for getting only 1.5 marks on that question if it is a 15 marker. 2 marks मिलेगा आपको बस for your entire writing. But you are considering I have mentioned all 5 points in the pros and all 5 points in the cons. But you have not mentioned any example, 0 marks. Understood? Right? Next, VAT. Then second is entry tax. Entry tax. Other name is octroi. 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 So usually this entry tax when the good is entering in the state. Fine. So suppose a good from Karnataka enters at where? Telangana. So at Telangana border you have to pay the entry tax. Fine. Now it is reaching to Hyderabad. For example, Mehdipatnam is a place in Hyderabad which is one of the big mandi. Fine. So at that place you have to pay one more tax to enter in the Hyderabad area. So on the border of the state, you have paid the entry tax, and within the state for entering particular district or particular marketplace, you have to pay a tax that is called octroi. Fine. So one is the entry tax, state to state. Then in the state with particular place you want to enter for the commercial purpose, then it is called as octroi. Understood? Right. Next, entertainment tax. Entertainment tax. So you are watching public fight and enjoying the moment. That is not called entertainment. Fine. Many people consider this is also an entertainment. Fine. 2 people are fighting on the road and you are sipping the tea and you are enjoying that fight and you are calling as entertainment. That is not an official form of entertainment. You are going to stand-up comedy. Don't go. Now these days also becoming controversial. Fine. No, even audience are also on the target. Fine. So even go, then be quiet. Fine. Stand-up comedy is something like, I'll not say anything, but stand-up comedy, watching the movie, going to the cricket match, supporting SRH, fine, or RCB or SRH? SRH. पक्का? ये झूठ बोल रहा है, ये RCB का फैन है. पक्का? SRH fan? Okay. So if you are going for any entertainment, fine, any entertainment is a public entertainment. Fine. So that entertainment can be taxed by the government and that is called entertainment tax. And here there is a drastic change in the north and south. Fine. A normal PVR ticket in Hyderabad. Fine. How much maximum? 200, 300? 220 and that 220 or 300. Whoop, best seat. And still, like first time when I went, I was still having it out. कि हो सकता है बाद में और पैसे मांगेगा. At the time of the end of the movie, he is going to say that कि entry था वो 220 rupees for the entry. Exit का अलग से देना पड़ेगा. Because in Delhi, a minimum to minimum 500, 400 to 500. The way they charge the taxes, they are too high. Fine, too high. Entertainment tax is very high. Those states in south. Usually they have low entertainment tax in comparison to whom? In comparison to the northern states. So this is why cinema is something more lived at where? In south. Sometimes people ask me why there is too much transition from the movies to the politics in south and less in north. So you will see very less actors and actresses, they are having such a great transition what we do have at where? South. In the north, very less transition is there. So there are the various theories one of the theory says that one of the reason is because in North, usually the entertainment tax is very high. And because of the entertainment tax is very high, public always see cinema as a something special. Something very special. Here, cinema is something which you can enjoy every week or sometimes twice in a week. For some people, thrice in a week. Fine? It's a normal thing. So people are able to well connect. But if you want to go for the cinema in North with your family, fine, a ticket price is 400 rupees. And 5 people are there. 2,000 rupees you have to spend a person whose salary of 50,000 rupees if he'll go cinema every weekend. Fine. Then the 10,000 rupees is going to be where? Cinema. And no school fees will be there. Fine. So this is one of the reasons why society is able to connect more with whom? The stars on the screen. And in North, people are not able to connect in that way. So for them, they are just doing an acting. Acting kar raha hai. Jada emotional mat ho. This is what usually people say that. But here, it is more connection. So people find a touch and connection with the people who are on the screen, and that is why it might be possible. This is one theory. It is not a valid theory. It is just a one theory which explains this behavior. So entertainment tax plays a very important role in the North and South. North believe that get as much as possible whosoever is paying. South believe that more people will pay, even less we will get more. So South believes in widening the tax base, allowing the more and more people by decreasing the tax. So see, when you decrease the tax, you can widen what? Tax base. When the tax base is getting wider, you are going to get more taxable income. Whereas when the widening is not possible, then governments want squeeze those people who are able to pay the tax. So in South and the North, if you compare the per capita income and the population, so per capita income is relatively higher at where? South. So for South, it is relatively easy to go by which theory? The widening the tax base theory. Whereas for the North, it is not easy to go for widening the tax base. Fine. So this is what something happened. But if I will see the road tax, when you purchase a vehicle here and you purchase a vehicle there, drastic change. Exactly flip. Exactly flip. If you will purchase any car which have a ex-showroom price of 20 lakh rupees. Fine. So this part of the country, you are going to pay minimum 50,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees extra on the road tax this side and less 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees in the northern side. Again, same theory. Because here, government usually believe that this is something can be squeezed. Fine. Where the North believes in what? Consumerism. South believes in more and more what? Accumulation of the wealth. In general, people are going to spend on perishable goods and the goods which are going to have a depreciating value. So it is not a generalized thing, but overall observation, the spending on non-perishable goods and perishable goods, one thing, and appreciating goods and depreciating goods. So if you will see the spending behavior in this part of the country and that part of the country spend more likely on goods which are going to have a depreciating value. Mobile phone, laptop, any electronic device, car. The moment car is out of the showroom, even it is just went for 100 kilometer. Fine, 100 kilometer or 1000 kilometer, its price is going to be decreased by minimum 1 lakh if it is car up to 20 lakh rupees. Out of the showroom, 1 lakh reduced. Fine. It is never going to increase or increases. Car price is going to rise after use or fall. Always. No, not always. If that car is being driven by Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. Fine. The car is going to have a value higher than the normal car. आप कोई भी कार ले आओ शोरूम में, और क्या करो, सचिन से चलवा दो, विराट कोहली से चलवा दो. If Virat Kohli is going to drive that car only for half an hour, and you can have the picture and video with the number plate of the car, fine. I'll bet you even in the Hyderabad people will purchase that Alto car. ले लो आप, कोई नहीं, सबसे छोटा वाला छोटू, ठीक है, Alto. If that Alto is being driven by whom? Virat Kohli, just for half an hour छोड़ो, वो बैठ जाओ उसमें बस, fine. People will ready to pay more price for that, fine, because it is having the Virat Kohli edition, fine. Public is going to display the what? Virat Kohli edition. So that car is going to have additional value. So additional value is not of car, of the person. So one student have asked, sir, it is not always true. Sometimes car value increases or those depreciating goods. Like for example, land. Land is having appreciating value or depreciating value? Appreciating value. Fine. Appreciating value. So appreciating value. Car, depreciating value. Mobile phone, depreciating value. So what I was trying to tell you, if you will find that majority of the people are looking for such goods which are having depreciating value. So accordingly, government is going to widen the tax base and government will decrease the tax. So government's idea is very simple. What they do, if they will feel that here there is a possibility of widening the tax base. If government will find that there is a possibility of widening the tax base, government will decrease the tax rate. Because tax rate will be wider and more tax revenue can be generated. But one government found that there is less possibility of widening the tax base. Very less possibility. Fine. Then government usually do not decrease the tax rate because government know that widening the tax base is not going to help because more people will be not added. But if country is consistently increasing the per capita income GDP growth rate, then usually country is going to transit from high tax rate to low tax rate. And it is clearly visible in India in majority of the taxes in past 50 years. Fine. Past 50 years. Tax base is consistently getting widening and widening. So when the tax base will become wider and wider, it will be easy for the government to decrease the tax rate. And for that, how tax base will be widened? How it will be widened? It is going to be widening only when people have more income. And when people have more income, when more production will be there. So for that, what you have to focus? Gross domestic product. And to increase the GDP, what government need to do? Government have to push the infrastructure. And for pushing the infrastructure, government have to go for less borrowing or more borrowing? More borrowing. But more borrowing can trigger high inflation. And to trigger that high inflation, to bring it down, what RBI will do? Increase the interest rates. Repo rates are going to increase. And if RBI will increase the repo rate, less money will be there. Less money will be there, less GDP will be there. Fine. So, in such case, what government have to do? Something bold initiative. Fine. Decreasing the tax base. So, decrease in the tax base is a kind of a bold initiative in such condition. Why? Because situation are getting tight. Government want to push the infrastructure, and pushing the infrastructure need more spending by the government. More spending by the government is going to do what? Is going to increase the money supply in the economy. If money supply is going to be little bit uncomfortable, it will start pushing what? Inflation upwards. RBI will suppress that inflation by increasing the interest rates. And increase in the interest rate will cause the less spending by the public. Because the consumption is basically based on how much income you are going to have. Fine, how much income you are going to have. And I told you yesterday, there is a concept of per capita income and disposable income. So disposable income is getting impacted by actually two things. One is the tax which you are going to pay. Now the real consumption. Suppose a person is having the income of 100 rupees. And government have took 10 rupees as a tax. So his income is 100 rupees. Government took the tax of how much? 10 rupees. How much he have for the spending and saving? 90 rupees, 10 rupees, he have to pay the tax. So for him, how much is there? To dispose, he have 90 rupees. Out of this 90 rupees, he have for the dispose, if inflation is high, then he may spend 90 rupees, but he may able to get less goods what he was able to get in the 90 rupees earlier. Why? The rate of inflation is high. So inflation and tax both impact what? Public's actual capacity to consume. Actual capacity to consume. And this word actual capacity to consume is slightly different from income for disposable. So see, one concept is disposable income. How much I can use for consumption. Fine. How much actually I am consuming, that depends upon the rate of inflation. How much you have to consume, that depends upon the tax. So if tax is low, you have more money to spend. If tax is high, you have less money to spend. But your actual spending power is based on both factors. If taxes are high, you have more money, but inflation is also high, you have less goods with yourself. So when the monetary policy is not able to resolve the matter, then who have to step in? The fiscal policy, and especially by deploying what? Tax gun. So tax gun is going to be deployed by the government. So though taxes are not a tool of monetary policy, but taxes are tool to be used by whom? Government. And taxes are the tool which is going to be more impactful than the inflation management by the RBI. Why? When RBI will go for rate changes, fine, repo rate and other rates, RBI going to change. It is going to impact only on the formal economic system where the lending is happening from the banks and all. But India, majority of the things are happening in the cash. So, a informal economy where we do not have a proper system of billing and other things, monetary policy and fiscal policy, means tax regime, both are going to be less effective. But which one is going to be most less effective? That is monetary policy. Okay. Fiscal policy also suffers. Government tax regime is also suffers. Suppose you are purchasing a good from the market. Fine. And seller told you, if you will purchase with invoice, price is 20,000. If you will purchase without invoice, price will be 15,000. Now, you want to save that 5,000 rupees, but you are having a trust issue. If something happens with this device, then what will happen? So seller said that don't worry, yaar. If something will happen, see, even if you have an invoice, 6-month warranty is there. And I am giving you the warranty, if something will happen in this device for next 6 months, I'll replace it. Happy? So you got a little bit scared. No, still, are pakka, don't worry. You will get replacement if something will happen. You purchased on his trust and something happened to that device. You went to that shop and you started reminding him, do you remember me or not? I was a person. But this seller, even if you are going to remind him, he automatically is going to wave his hand and he is going to ask you, how are you after a long time, blah, 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 and blah, blah. Arey, sir, I am kuch, inko pani aur cold drink वगैरह ला के दो. And you are feeling, he recalled me. He recalled me and you are very happy and you said that, this device is having this issue. He said, no worries. I'll replace it. What part is having some issue, I'll replace it. And he did that. Now, he gained your trust or not? Yes or no? Now, tell me one thing. Don't lie, okay? Tell me one thing. Now, the same kind of the device want to be purchased by someone in your family. Will you go for invoice or without invoice? Will you go for with invoice or without invoice? Because the seller have promised you, if something will happen, I'll replace. And he replaced it. And he have given the new thing. Now tell me, will you go for invoice or without invoice? Without invoice. मुझे पता है without invoice जाओगे. Because that was the only reason you were having to fear to purchase without invoice. And now he have removed that fear. And usually those devices are coming with a warranty of 1 year or 1.5 years. They make such sturdy, it can survive for 1 year. So usually out of 100, 1 or 2 device is going to show some symptoms of problem. Rest of the 98 devices are not going to show the issue. Now he gain your trust. And now you are telling each and everyone, and they play also a tactic. Whenever you will go to that place, they will treat you like they know you for past 2 centuries. Fine. So you will be treated as something special. And this is what a common man wants. To be treated as not common but special. Now he bought you also to that shop. You are want to purchase. I want to purchase. I have to go somewhere. Let's go to that shop. You can save 5,000 rupees. What for 5,000 rupees? I'm not going to get an invoice. Don't worry. He is having the warranty. He himself is a warranty. Uska naam hi warranty hai. He has name warranty. Usne likha bhi rakha tattoo. Warranty ka. Fine. I'll tell you why I'm telling this. I'll tell you. In India, there are 2 biggest market in the US grey list. US calls a grey list. Gafar market and Nehru Place. Both are in Delhi and they are known for this practice. US trade body mention these 2 places, Gafar market and Nehru Place, for this purpose only. Majority of the sellings are happening there without invoicing. Without invoicing. Seller and buyer both are doing this with the consent. And for such system, monetary policy or fiscal policy is not going to work at all. So the formalization of the economy is also very important in order to make monetary policy, taxation policy or fiscal policy as effective as in the other country. So why we do not have a tax policy effective in our country? Why GST is not as effective? What we have thought that not the GST itself. The informal nature of the economy is also one of the reasons. So whenever you have to write on monetary policy, fiscal policy, taxation policy and related things, you can have this Brahmastra. Fine. If all the weapons are vanished, still you have one weapon, and that weapon is informal nature of Indian economy is one of the reason for such issue. एक कोई डेटा पकड़ के रख लो informal economy पे, ठीक है? GPT को बोलो या Google को बोलो, please provide me one crucial data with respect to the informal nature of Indian economy, और उसको आप भी यहाँ पे लग लो, ठीक है? Because it's going to definitely help you. मेंस में आपको कहीं ना कहीं मिल जाएगा, एक क्वेश्चन मिलेगा, इंफ्रा पे मिलेगा या फिर फिस्कल पॉलिसी रिलेटेड मिलेगा, जहां पे आप यूज कर सकते हो द इनइफेक्टिवनेस ऑफ गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी. एंड यू कैन ब्लेम व्हाट समवन व्हिच डू नॉट एग्जिस्ट. इनफॉर्मल इकोनॉमी किसको ब्लेम करोगे? पब्लिक को ब्लेम करोगे. आर यू गोइंग टू ब्लेम द पब्लिक? पब्लिक वांट लेसर प्राइस, विल ब्लेम द गवर्नमेंट. गवर्नमेंट इज मेकिंग एन एफर्ट, बट इट कैन नॉट बी सक्सीड विदाउट whom? Public's effort also. Fine. So this is why India have one systematic issue in the taxation, in the monetary policy, in proper execution of fiscal policy and data gathering. So what data we will receive? What data we will receive from the market? GDP related data or monetary policy related data, taxation related data. That data is not complete data because the data is coming from which economy? Formal economy. It is not coming from which economy? Informal economy. And that is why there is a discrepancy. Indian government saying that our GDP growth rate will be 7.4. IMF saying that 6.5, 6.6, 6.7. Why? Because data collection and assumption by government of India and data collection and assumption by IMF is different. Usually in very formal economy like US economy, Japanese economy, you do not need to go for much assumptions. Why? Japanese economy, 99.98% formal economy. US economy, somewhere around 97% formal in the nature. Fine. Chinese economy, somewhere around 60 to 70% formal in the nature. So you have to assume only 30%. India, 55 to 60% only formal economy. Remaining economy is still what? Informal. Most preferred mode of payment in India is still what? Cash. So despite huge success of UPI, still cash in circulation is very high in India. Again, a curious case. How it is possible a country who is doing billions of the rupee transaction in a day in the UPI still having what? Huge flow of cash. Why? I'll tell you the reason. Majority of the business firms who are doing the business, Fine, they accept the payment in the UPI. They are accepting not in their business account, they are accepting at their personal account. I told you earlier also, it is very easy to identify. If you are going to make a payment through UPI and you have a RuPay credit card, fine, if you have a RuPay credit card, so automatically it will give you the option pay by the credit card or pay by the debit card. If it is not a merchant account, it will show you only one option, that is pay by debit card. Because merchants can accept the payment through credit card, not individual. If you want to pay me, you can pay me only through debit if I am individual. But if I am a business unit, I have my business account, then I can accept payment from you even through the credit card. So this is why, despite having UPI payments, still we do have high flow of cash in the economy. समझ में आया point? All related to what? Tax. Last, what you have written? Okay. Next, tax on lottery, betting and gambling. Tax on lottery, betting and gambling. Next, purchase tax. Purchase tax. A tax can be imposed on certain specific type of purchase. Purchase tax. Next, advertisements tax. Next is advertisement tax. So if you are going for advertisements, that might be also will be taxable. So a certain coaching institute want to publish their advertisement in the leading newspaper, all ranks are from my institute only. Fine, because the topper just have visited outside my premises. Fine, and we have captured his or her photo, and that is why they are mine. Fine, I told you about one institute in Delhi. Congratulations to the topper. That girl got the top rank, and they have mentioned entire area. They have put the billboard, a small billboard in every area, means entire area. Congratulations to rank 1. Fine. And we are like, she studied at, we know that girl. So, I know. So, we just asked her, have you seen this video? And she's like, no, I even do not know, even I have not went for the interview. Usually what happens, certain people will publish the interview result also as their candidate. Now, Consumer Authority of India is very particular about that. Even if you are claiming it's an overall result. As an interview candidate only, you will be punished. So she was like, I do not have any knowledge. So she called to that institute and she asked, why you are doing this? So institute owner said that we are proud of you. You are proud of all the candidates and you are inspiration. That is why we have put your photo. Right? You can't do anything. अब आप इमेजिन करो, आप क्लास में बैठे हो, ठीक है, आपका फोटो खींच के पूरे कॉलोनी में लगा दिया जाए, ठीक है, because of your achievement you cleared the prelims exam, congratulations for clearing the prelims exam, आपका फोटो लगा हुआ है, on what basis? Fine, but do you know that ultimately they were forced to remove it because right framing notice was sent to the owner. Even you are congratulating, you can congratulate without mentioning your business interest. You are running an institute which is for profit purpose and the message will go to the general public, will be the wrong message because you are a business unit. If you want to congratulate me, you can congratulate, remove your entire name. Remove the name of the institute, only my photo and congratulation message, nothing else. Because it is not reflecting any business interest. Fine. And by that, you can do that. Otherwise, you can't do that. Okay? Because any kind of the promotional event are considered as a business activity. And this is why sometimes people will go and visit as a visiting faculty, not the permanent faculty. Or sometimes just giving a lecture to inspire or motivate the people. Usually those who are already civil servant, what they do? They will go to give some lecture and they will say what? They will just say that we are here to inspire you. because they cannot accept any kind of the mode of the payment by the institution because they are already government employee. So these are certain restrictions on the government people, but overall advertisement is need to be taxed. Now this advertisement under which system? GST. Whenever you are going to publish your advertisement in the newspaper, you have to pay the price as well as goods and services tax. One last, state surcharges and cess. State surcharges and cess. State surcharges and cess on goods and services. On goods and services. So see, till the now in discussion, as I told you, before starting the GST, I told you that certain taxes which we have not discussed, we will discuss under what? GST. So till then now, we have seen the evolution, we have seen the circumstances, we also understood certain scenarios, why a particular tax comes under the GST system, why a particular tax is still out of the GST system. Fine. For next class, you just put a heading, structure and functioning, of GST Council. Yesterday I told that I will take it later, but I think first we will have to tackle this one, structure and functioning of GST Council. Then we will go for the nitty-gritty of GST. Fine. So we will deal it tomorrow. Fine. And meanwhile, what you can do is like, okay, I'll deal it. So first I will explain this structure and functioning of the GST Council. Then we will go with the nitty-gritty of the GST. Earlier GST was having 4 slabs. Now how many slabs in GST? 3 slabs or 2 slabs? 2 slab system or 3 slab system?
3 slabs.
I'll tell you. There is always a confusion, 2 slabs, 3 slabs. Earlier there was a confusion, 5 slabs or 4 slabs. Earlier what was there? 4. What was that? 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. But do you know that many places it is written in the 5 slabs structure? 0%. So 0%, 5%. अब पब्लिक इज आस्किंग कि 0% कौन सा परसेंट होता है? 0 मीन 0. 0% को आप कंसीडर कैसे कर सकते हो? इफ इट इज 0. बट इन जीएसटी सिस्टम देयर इज अ नीड टू कंसीडर 0% आल्सो. द रीजन इज, सी, अंडरस्टैंड इन दिस वे. So this is entire goods and services in India. Fine. Entire goods and services in India. Fine. Like this. So all the goods and services are going to be sold in India. Then government bought what? Government bought GST. But while bringing the GST, government have made certain goods out of the circle of what? GST. So these are the goods which are exclusive of what system? GST system. Fine. But one more thing, there are certain goods under the GST, but still no GST is applicable on them. So there is one more list within the GST. Certain goods are in the GST, though they come under the GST regime, but on them there is no GST applicable as of right now. So these are the goods which are under the GST, but is still no GST is applicable. That is why it is what? 0%. Means they are in the GST. Tomorrow if government want 5%, 12%, 18%, 24%, government can implement it. Still, when we do have 2 slabs rather than 4 slabs, still that kind of the good exists in the GST system, which are under the GST, but as of right now, government is not imposing the GST. So this is the myth about 5 slab or 4 slab or 3 slab or 2 slab. Basically, that additional slab, what people are talking about, that is about the goods which are under the GST, but at present, no GST is implemented on those goods. Understood? So this is what the confusion usually people do have with respect to 0% rate. 0% rate का क्या मतलब होता है? 0% का rate का मतलब होता है, 0% means You are under the GST system, but as of right now, no GST is applicable on that good. That is why 0%. Fine. Something which is exclusive of GST like petrol, GST cannot be implemented. Fine. Rest of the thing tomorrow.